UL and the Astros are on the road this week, so I'm going to take you on a little tour around the South. We'll start in Alabama, where Louisiana softball had a rough night Sunday after their walk-off loss against Troy, but today is a new day to dust themselves off and try again. Louisiana softball took on Texas State Friday night in their first game of the series. The Cajuns held a strong 5-0 lead until the top of the fifth inning, where they allowed 3 runs by the Bobcats. Louisiana struggled in their weekend matchup against Campbell. That includes outfielder Max Marshak. The Texas native was stuck in a rut of his own and was hoping to dig himself out. But hey, you could do anything with the right amount of grit and determination. Seth, Zion Chris has shown promise since stepping onto campus. The Madison Prep product has proven to be a guy who was always ready when he needed to be, and one of the best weapons he has available is being available. Over to Baton Rouge now, where Louisiana and LSU will meet in baseball for the 85th time on Tuesday. Last year, the Cajuns lost by 4 in Baton Rouge in what would be the final Wally Pontiff Jr. Classic. Louisiana struggled in their weekend matchup against Campbell. That includes outfielder Max Marshak. The Texas native was stuck in a rut of his own and was hoping to dig himself out. But hey, you could do anything with the right amount of grit and determination. On Sunday, Marshak went 2 for 3 at the plate and 4 RBI and hit a grand slam to get his groove back.
I got the fastball, put a good swing on it, and cleared them in an 8-run first innings. It's never a bad thing right there. So that was a breath of fresh air for us.
Man, when he's on the loose, it changes the game, and that just hasn't been the case, through the first 10 games. But it's a long season, right? And the ability is undeniable.
I needed to have a day like this personally, and I think our team needed it too. And it was good to bust it open, and a bunch of adrenaline was flowing. It was a great moment. I was excited about it, and my favorite part's coming back to the dugout, seeing all the guys getting fired up and smiling and stuff, and can't help myself. I couldn't help but smile.
The Cajuns hope to carry their momentum from Sunday's game into their matchup with McNeese. Covering Louisiana baseball, Madeline Cerna, KTC Sports.
Around middle of high school is when I knew that I wanted to represent Guatemala, and I really wanted to take this thing to the next level.
Lafayette High alumnus Miguel Vasquez, a name that's been known in the swimming community in Acadiana for the past several years. Being a swimmer at Centenary College is one thing, but Vasquez has bigger dreams, a lot bigger.
Miguel is committed. When he commits onto something, unlike swimming, he is going to dive in, head first, feet last. He is fully into it.
Vasquez is determined to become an international champion. He is training for the Guatemala National Championships in hopes of making the national team. If that happens, he will begin climbing the ladder of meets with hopes of going to the top.
This year was whenever it really started to become a reality, and now I'm hoping to make it one. Ultimate goal, it's a big word, it's a little scary, but the Olympics and making the Guatemala national team.
Vasquez is undergoing training at Crawfish Aquatics, a local swim club. Coach Thomas Clavier sees no reason Miguel won't make it to the Olympics.
Yes, I always thought Miguel would go to greatness. He works hard at everything he does. He's very driven, comes from a great family, and he's super focused, and he takes initiative to do things without being told so. And I know a lot of the things we do are hard and challenging, but he knows it's part of the process, and he does it without complaints.
Since becoming a dual citizen between the United States and Guatemala, Vasquez has been getting closer and closer to his dream. But there is still something worth just as much to him as a gold medal.
One thing that I'm really hoping to achieve through this process is just shedding more light on the sport of swimming in Guatemala. I really hope to just really make a legacy for, not only myself, but for my country in some sort of way.
In Lafayette, I'm Madeline Cerna, TV 308. Louisiana softball took on Texas State Friday night in their first game of the series. The Cajuns held a strong 5-0 lead until the top of the fifth inning, where they allowed 3 runs by the Bobcats. Relief pitcher Kendra Lamb entered the game, hoping to shut it down and get the win. Lamb pitched 2 1/3 innings and completed her task with a shutout.
Kendra's been big all years, and she's really developed into a really top-flight closer, and for a closer to be effective, you have to want to put them in the game. And, when you got great starters like Shorman and Landry's throwing right now, they're really good. But you still, with that 6th and 7th inning, I like seeing Kendra Lamb go out there. I think she's got that mentality of a power throwing closer. She just comes at you, and so it was good. And anytime she can get us out of a jam, it's a big deal.
We knew the umpire had a little bit of a tighter strike zone than we probably would have liked, but just come in, pound the zone. We want to attack them, put ball in play, because when we're facing a zone like that, at the end of the day, we've got to let the field do the work and just really compete with them and make them fight for every out that they get, me fight for every out.
That's really big. She's really accepted her role. She comes in and she always lights out. We can always count on her. She's just a leader for the team, and nobody really worries when she comes in.
If UL wins this series, it would further propel them into holding on to their first place spot in the Sun Belt. Now the Cajuns continue their series against the Bobcats at Lamson Park on Saturday at 4 p.m. Covering Louisiana softball, Madeline Cerna, KATC Sports. It's a new season for Cajuns baseball, but the same star player is ready to shine once again as Carson Rockefeller is back in center field for the Cajuns.
It's going to take a lot of hard work and discipline, but that's what he's made of. I would expect him to play in the big leagues one day for sure. He should dominate this level.
Rockefeller earned all Sun Belt honors last year and was placed on the Golden Spikes watch list ahead of this season. With expectations comes pressure, but the Texas native believes that he can take care of business.
Just another day, he's confident in me, builds confidence in myself as well. So to have that confidence that he has in me is huge.
I told Carson, that's not a, in my eyes, it's an All-American season. A lot of people ask, he's All-American, but that's a Carson Rockefeller season at this level. If he's dialed in and focused and hooked up.
Last season, Rockefeller finished with a .374 batting average and 68 RBIs, and on the fielding side, he was second on the roster for double plays. But entering 2023, he isn't focused on any individual improvements.
Just continuing to, buy into what the coaches have for us, buy into this team and staying focused on that. I think it's going to have a lot of success for myself and this team.
Rockefeller and the Cajuns will take the field at Reckling Park on Friday, February 17th when they face the Rice Owls in the season opener. Covering the Cajuns, Madeline Cerna, KATC Sports. UL and the Astros are on the road this week, so I'm going to take you on a little tour around the South. We'll start in Alabama, where Louisiana softball had a rough night Sunday after their walk-off loss against Troy, but today is a new day to dust themselves off and try again. So let's take you out to the Troy softball complex for Game 2. We'll start at the bottom of the third, where Troy has one on. Jade Siness steps up to the plate and hits this two-run shot over the wall. It's 2-0 Troy. Skipping ahead to the top of the fifth now, Cajuns up 6-2. Lauren Allred takes off for lift-off as she fires a rocket to the scoreboard. It's her 9th homer of the year. It's 7-2 Cajuns. Top of the sixth now, when Taylor Roman, she decides she wants to play the long ball game too. Tag her in, sending that one over the scoreboard to make it 8-2 UL. With 4 home runs by the Cajuns, they respond, winning Game 2, 9-2. Over to Baton Rouge now, where Louisiana and LSU will meet in baseball for the 85th time on Tuesday. Last year, the Cajuns lost by 4 in Baton Rouge in what would be the final Wally Pontiff Junior Classic, and I think it's safe to say that both teams have grown a lot since their last matchup. The Cajuns are reigning champs of the Sun Belt, and despite dropping 2 of 3 to Troy over the weekend, UL still sits at second in the conference standings. Meanwhile, the Tigers remain the #1 team in college baseball. After their strong series win over number 12 Kentucky, the Bayou Bengals lead the nation in scoring, on-base percentage, and is top 10 in home runs. For UL head coach Matt Daggs, the message to his pitchers is, don't make it easy.
They have a great offense, and Jay does a tremendous job over there. He's a great offensive mind. He's one of the best in our game, and he's got a lot of bullets over there. And so, the biggest thing is you're going to give some stuff up, and it was the message yesterday. Make it a solo shot, and make it 1 run, not 3, not 4. And you do that by limiting freebies. No hit batters, no walks, challenge the strike zone, be able to pitch off your fastball, depend on your guys, let the boys play behind you.
The first pitch for between the Cajuns and the Tigers is set for 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. If you can't make the drive to Baton Rouge, you can watch the game on SEC Network Plus. Louisiana has won 2 of the last meetings. LSU has won 2 of the last meetings, but Louisiana has taken 3 of the last 5 matchups. Now to ATL, where the Astros are taking on the Braves in Game 1 of the series. Starting at the top of the first, Stros with 1 runner on, Alex Bregman fires this one into the gap. That brings in the first run of the game. It's 1-0 Houston. Staying in the inning, the Braves at bat now with 1 on second. Austin Riley smacks this one in for a double, bringing in 1 run. The Braves would bring in 3 runs total by the end of the first. It's 4-1 Atlanta. Things would stay that way to the top of the 7th when Yanir Diaz hits this triple to bring home a run. Mauricio Dubon hits one to center field as well, allowing the Astros to tie things up. Top of the 9th now, when Jordan Alvarez decides he wants to shut things down for the night, he hits this into space in true Astros fashion. His 5th home run of the season. 6-4 is your final. LSU football had a great first year under head coach Brian Kelly. The Tigers finished the season with a 10-3 record, scoring the 2nd most points ever in a bowl game and defeating Alabama at home. Tomorrow, the Tigers will host their annual spring game to give fans a preview of the 2024 season. Kickoff is at noon inside of Tiger Stadium, and admission is free to the public. This is the 2nd spring game under head coach Brian Kelly, and one of his main goals he mentioned entering camp was building championship habits. Kelly says that he's pleased with the team's progress.
I think they really learned how to, prepare the right way. We did have a lot of new players that needed to be educated in the way we practice, but I told them just a few minutes ago that I was really proud of the way they adapted, after we pointed out that we weren't practicing quite the way I wanted to, and I thought the last 2 weeks were outstanding.
The 2023 Zurich Classic wrapped up this evening in New Orleans. Davis Riley and Nick Hardy picked up their very first win on the PGA Tour by 2 strokes and a 7-under in the final round. The pair set a team format record where they finished under 30 throughout the week. Both Riley and Hardy will earn $1.2 million each, but the biggest win for the duo was making memories they'll never forget.
That was really cool, and to share this moment with Nick, one of my best buddies, and countless friends and family here, it was really special. And to get the first PGA Tour, and it's pretty surreal. I'm honestly kind of speechless at the moment, and I don't think it's hit me, but no, I couldn't be more excited for me and Nick, and hopefully it's the start of hopefully it's only the beginning for both of us.
And that's a look at sports. We'll be right back after the break.